Hey there, Central Ohio. 10 weather impact meteorologist Michael Behrens here today, along with.
And I'm meteorologist Chris Tomer.
How you doing today?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right. Now the skies started to clear. I was driving in, and it was nice to see. We had a little bit of that rain as we expected this morning, and now the skies are starting to clear. Looks like it'll be a nice afternoon.
I was say, but
gusty,
get a little breezy out there. But you know, it's kind of a gloomy start. But these winds are from the south, and it's really pulling temperatures up this afternoon.
We were thinking 60s, well into the 60s.
Yeah.
How close do you think we'll get to the record?
Oh, you know, I'm not sure that we'll quite bust the record. We'll have to keep a close eye on it this afternoon. We got to watch those temperatures closely, though, because you know, a lot of warm air, not just today, but tomorrow.
Right.
And that could fuel some storms as we head in the next 24 hours.
That's what we were thinking. Yeah, kind of to the transition going on today. And then as we kind of slide into tomorrow, Michael, what are we looking at? Yeah,
we're looking at clearing again, like you say, in this afternoon. We're getting the sunny conditions out there. But then as we head toward tomorrow, we're going to be setting up some thunderstorms across the region. So we will have to watch carefully for just how much activity we'll get as we head into tomorrow afternoon, because it's going to feel kind of spring-like, not just this afternoon, but tomorrow. You know, that comes with that risk for storms. As Chris was saying, we are clearing up outside. This is the view outside of the site of Audubon about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Sunshine coming through, still cloud cover around, but I think we're going to see continued clearing for the afternoon. We're already in the 60s out there, 61 degrees your temperature right now. Breezy west-southwest winds out there, 13 miles per hour. Those have been a little gusty from time to time this afternoon, and we'll see that pattern continue with those winds begin pulling in that warmer air from the south. The radar out there showing what remains of the rain pushing into Pennsylvania, some rain down in West Virginia. Most of the cloud cover as of the early afternoon was to the east of I-71. A lot of clearing pushing its way in across the state, and we'll see that continue into this evening. It's going to really be a nice end to your day. If you left for work this morning in the rain, you're going to come home to much nicer looking conditions outside, and I do want you to get out and enjoy it, because again, we're not going to stick with this warm air for very long, and it's not going to be something that you'll want to miss if you've been really looking forward to those warmer days. 61 outside as of 2 o'clock in Columbus, 64 Marysville, 63 Urbana, 64 Circleville. We'll have to keep a close eye on those temperatures again this afternoon as we warm things up. Where the clouds are out to the east, still hanging on to the 50s, but you guys should see some continued warming this afternoon as well, with lots of southwesterly wind flowing in. Winds out there right now gusting as high as 25 in Columbus, 24 Lancaster, 22 in Mount Vernon, even close to 30 a couple spots. Marion, Kenton in the 30s, Washington Courthouse close to 30, and Chillicothe gusting to 30 as well. Over the next 12 hours, we'll see more sunshine through the afternoon. Again, we're going to hang out in the low 60s for the back half of the day today. And then as we work our way into tonight, temperatures not too bad either. We're still close to 50 by midnight out there, falling into the 40s heading into the early part of the day tomorrow. We should see a little bit more cloud cover build into the region as we head through tonight. But as for tomorrow's forecast, most of our rain and storm chance is going to lean toward the evening side into the overnight. So I think there's going to be some dry weather, possibly even a peak of sunshine or two to enjoy throughout the day tomorrow. The sunshine going to be kind of a determining factor as for how much energy we'll have for thunderstorms getting into the back half of the day tomorrow. If we get more sunshine in the afternoon, we could certainly fire up some more storm activity. But then if we get kind of locked into the cloud layer, that could put a little bit of a damper on things as we head into tomorrow night. It's kind of the risk with the lower end severe weather type days, where you're just not 100% sure how much energy you're going to get heading into those events and how strong they're going to be really until they start to happen. Either way, though, we're going to watch it carefully here for you at 10 TV, working our way through the rest of this afternoon. Again, that clearing pushing in, going to be really a nice commute home today, a nice end to your day with the sunshine and the warmer temperatures, kind of the weather you want to roll the windows down in the car and just kind of take it in, because it's going to be a nice evening again across central Ohio. As we head into tonight, the cloud cover out there will start to push its way back in across central Ohio. Will be fairly cloudy heading into early tomorrow morning. Models have been hinting there could be a stray shower around in the first part of the day tomorrow, so don't be totally shocked if you see that out there. But again, most of our rain chance, most of our storm chance is going to come really beyond the afternoon tomorrow, into the evening, into into the overnight heading into Thursday night and early Friday. You can see here on the hour by hour, we are showing some of that clearing working its way in by Thursday afternoon. Some holes in those clouds out there. That's something we'll watch carefully. Again, more sunshine means more energy for storms that come later. And then as we work our way into the evening, this is a time period where we're starting to see more and more of those storms come together. Once we get past sundown, past about 7, 8 o'clock at night, when we're seeing most of the storm activity. This is 9 o'clock here, showing a good scattering of stronger gusty thunderstorms pushing their way through central Ohio. If we do have severe weather potential out there tomorrow, I think most of that chance is going to be with that first wave. Once we get past that, we could still have some gusty thunderstorms, but I think the severe weather chance overall is going to go down, as we could see continued showers, maybe some thunderstorms heading through the midnight hour into the early AM of Friday. But again, once we get past that first wave, we're going to take some of the energy out of the atmosphere. It's not going to be able to sort of support as strong of thunderstorms, but again, wind, something we'll keep watching for, even with some of those storms that are a little bit further back in line compared to what comes through first. As we work our way through the rest of the day, Friday morning, we see those showers and thunderstorms start to wrap up by about the 3 to 4 a.m. hour. By the time we head past sunrise Friday morning, we're pretty much gone with any of those rain chances. Anything kind of lingering around, expected to be very light out there. This model here tossing a few snowflakes in there. I'm not sure that I quite believe that, but we'll keep a close eye on that as we head into Friday. Maybe some sprinkles out there, again, kind of wrapping around the backside of that system once it gets out of here. Taking a look at the severe weather risk out there. This was as again of 2 o'clock on Thursday. We are under that level 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather here in Columbus. The further south and west you go, you got a slightly higher risk for severe weather. That goes to a level 2 once you get out to Dayton, Cincinnati, and back toward Indianapolis. Part of this being they get into the thunderstorm activity earlier in the day when you've still got the daylight to work with, some of the warmer temperatures to work with. That severe weather threat looking a little bit higher back toward our west, but we'll keep a close eye on it here too. Overall, the risk factors and the confidence remain on the low side. Wind and hail would be the two biggest factors out of the system, but something we'll need to watch overall as we head toward tomorrow. So I want to give that heads up now so you stay weather aware as we get into the day tomorrow. Here's a look at your 10 Weather Impact 7-day forecast. Once those storms come through, it is back into a cooling pattern heading toward the weekend. Highs Friday only in the 50s. We drop to the 40s by Saturday. And Chris, 30s in there by Sunday, and those are some snowflakes that
for sure.
I buy a little more as we head toward the weekend. I don't think it's going to, they look like accumulating snow at this point, but you know, it's going to be a hard switch when we were just in the 60s.
Yeah, we're talking about thunderstorms in 60s and then to snow. A chance of snow on Sunday. So let's just chat a little bit about this this hint of spring coming tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night. I agree. I think, you know, initially, if there's going to be anything strong, it'd be right away, and then the atmosphere would probably settle down. Yeah,
absolutely. There's not what we call it a CAPE here in the weather, storm fuel, storm energy. There's not a ton of that available in the environment. So there's some for it to work with, but it's going to be spent very quickly.
Yeah.
And everything past that point is really going to be wind driven.
Yeah.
I think if we do get any additional severe type storms beyond that first wave, I think it's just going to be the winds that are the big factor.
And luckily, this is not going to happen during any rush hour. This is likely after the evening rush hour for a short window of time where that possibility exists. So it's the kind of thing we're going to watch. Again, wind might be the biggest issue as this comes through. So interesting little setup.
Yeah, a little first taste of spring here. It's not uncommon to get some of those in early February, but I always tell people this time of the year, when you push temperatures so far out of the ordinary, you got to get them back there somehow.
Right.
And the way you usually do that is thunderstorms.
Rebalance. Yeah, that's all it is. You know, while we warm up, we still have these issues around Columbus with water. A lot of water main issues. The city is still working hard to solve a lot of these following the big winter storm that we had earlier this year. Yeah, according to city leaders, Columbus crews have already repaired 130 water main lines. Some of those, again, breaking during that big cold spell, that big winter storm we had. As for how many are left, the city says there are still 37 leaks to be fixed. Thankfully, though, the current water leaks are not creating as many issues for people like we saw a
couple weeks ago when cars were frozen in ice. That was
they were encased in ice. I remember that. Yeah, you know, and it's all about temperature. So speaking of ice, changing conditions could decide whether you get a chance to visit these stunning ice caves in Wisconsin. Access to the caves depends on sustained cold temperatures, calm winds, and stable ice conditions. And those are kind of becoming a little harder to come by.
Yeah, amazing video there. I'd love to see something like that. After driving for hours, though, many visitors were left waiting in shuttle lines for 3 hours for what could, well, be their only chance to take in these caves.
Once in a lifetime opportunity for many people, but as you continue to walk and you pass more and more people or like the shuttle lines, you truly understand like how big of a deal this is.
There's so many caves that you can just go straight through from one cave to another cave, and it's just Narnia, like you're in a different world. It's amazing.
If you're considering going out to Apostle Islands, where those caves are, take note, park officials stress conditions can change rapidly.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see that sometime. Elsewhere, more wild video, this time out of California, showing a tree crashing down. Look at that right there in front of that car in the middle of the road. This was in El Dorado County, and it looks like it was pretty snowy there with messy conditions and a lot of wind. And this is part of a big storm system. Actually, part of it's going to move close to Ohio and give us this chance of thunderstorms.
What a thing to catch on camera there. That looks to be their storm chase vehicle out there. I see the news channel on the hood.
Yes, I see that too.
Crazy video. Glad they made it through that. And another video, this time out of Colorado, showing a scary situation on the road. Look at this big truck sliding around. Again, that's another news car right there. Some crazy conditions being caught. Off to the side.
Yeah, this is looks like near the Eisenhower Johnson Tunnel. I'm familiar with that area up there. So it's all part of the same, big storm complex moving into the west, hitting California first, then Utah, then Colorado.
And this is a great example. I always say give plenty of space, because this truck crossing the lanes of traffic before eventually sliding off to the shoulder. Good thing, again, nobody was near that guy at the time.
Yes, exactly. All right, we're going to switch gears just a little bit here from winter weather, and we're tracking wildfires in the western U.S. after some cities had to be completely evacuated. So just take a look at this. It's pitch black out, and you can still see the fires burning brighter than ever.
Yeah, crazy video there. Crews working to control wildfires in Oklahoma and Colorado, as well as Texas. Large plumes of smoke could be seen taking over skies in western Kansas as well. Take a look at your screen. Video out there. Well, this is a different video out there showing from where planes got slammed with other types of severe weather in addition to those wildfires.
I know where this is at. This is, I think, I-25 in Colorado. This was a nasty one. So there was a big pileup near Pueblo on I-25 amid. So the situation was these high winds were kicking up a lot of dust, and it created this very low visibility across that area.
Yeah, I mean, the wind and the wildfire, too, combining together. Not been a great situation out there. There's been a lot of fire danger.
It's been rough. So elsewhere on the plains, conditions fanned the flames of a couple different wildfires that you're seeing right there. And in California, an avalanche. This is quite a story. Triggered an avalanche, a big avalanche, and there's a search and rescue effort ongoing for a large group of backcountry skiers. Here's CNN's Reed Binion with the latest on that.
A multiple vehicle crash just south of the city limits.
At least 4 people are dead and dozens injured after a massive pileup in Colorado involving more than 30 vehicles.
There are several commercial motor vehicles, pickups pulling horse trailers, SUVs, and passenger vehicles.
It happened on Interstate 25 south of Pueblo Tuesday as powerful winds slammed the plains.
Adverse weather conditions with high winds and blowing dirt across I-25.
As wind gusts up to 61 miles per hour caused brownout conditions, authorities said, quote, visibility was next to nothing. Strong winds wreaking havoc elsewhere in the plains as well. In northwestern Oklahoma, a wildfire in Woodward forced at least 3,000 people to evacuate. Another fire broke out nearby in Beaver County, Oklahoma, rapidly crossing north into Kansas in just hours. Authorities say the Ranger Road fire burned about 15,000 acres by Tuesday afternoon, but it then exploded to an estimated 145,000 acres by evening. In Kansas, it forced evacuations of more than 11,000 people in several towns. As fires burned in the plains, an icy rescue effort was underway for missing backcountry skiers in California after an avalanche near Lake Tahoe.
Where you have brought in snowcats, we have snowmobilers on standby. We have individuals on skis.
Of the more than a dozen skiers, 6 had been found and rescued as of Tuesday night after authorities sent out search crews. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
And now to more on that avalanche. He said there's searchers racing against time really to locate all 9 of those missing skiers who are believed to be trapped following that avalanche out there.
It was a big avalanche, and this is after feet of snow had already fallen. I mean, the avalanche conditions were through the roof. It happened near Castle Peak, which is in the Sierra Nevada, the High Sierra. Matt Gutman is in Soda Springs, California, where dangerous weather conditions, heavy snow, are making the search extremely difficult.
Frantic rescue efforts continue this morning for 9 skiers who officials believe are still trapped, buried in an avalanche in a backcountry ski area. The Nevada County Sheriff's Office says they were part of a group of 15 skiers and guides who were on a trip in the Castle Peak area near Lake Tahoe. It's known for its deep snow, rugged terrain, has no trails, and no ski patrol.
It took us several hours to even get resources deployed.
Search and rescue teams are battling dangerous conditions with wind gusts up to 40 miles per hour and the risk of another avalanche, quote, high.
The area is very tough to access, and the more people that we have up there, the higher chance of another incident happening.
Overnight crews were able to reach 6 of the 15 skiers who'd survived the avalanche. They had been told to shelter in place and waited for hours for rescuers to arrive.
Just about 3 miles to my right is that avalanche site. At this point, officials say they have had no signs of life from those missing skiers, and the avalanche threat remains persistent. Now, California Highway Patrol does have helicopters fitted with detectors that can sense those avalanche beacons that went off, but the weather simply has prohibited them from flying. Matt Gutman, CBS News, Soda Springs, California.
And now to some stories about our environment. First, you can learn more about deer in the city of Columbus as the city council is holding a public hearing tonight at 6:30 at the Wheatstone Community Center.
Yeah, so the city recently released a report on the issue showing it's especially prevalent in Clintonville. It's basically 6 in 10 people say they see deer every day, more than double the citywide average. The survey showed general support for managing the deer population without killing them.
Yeah.
You can find the full results of the survey, and I see deer all the time around here, on 10tv.com/featured links.
Yeah, they've kind of been a problem all across central Ohio, and Columbus not the only community dealing with deer. 10TV told you last month about the concerns in Worthington over the city's decision to use trained wildlife sharpshooters to manage their deer population.
Thin it out. So neighbors pushed back against the idea, saying they were worried about safety, of course, with the sharpshooters being allowed so close to their homes and their families. Even one man filed a lawsuit against the city, which he then dropped.
Yeah. And an update on spotted lanternflies also in our environment. If you see it, you're still supposed to squish it, but you no longer have to report it to the Ohio Department of Agriculture. They announced that new treatment options, they're also available for those invasive insects.
Very unique thing. This includes using certain oils or soaps along with other pesticides. ODA also says it's expanding the quarantine of the spotted lanternfly statewide. Previously, it only applied to 18 of Ohio's 88 counties. This quarantine means Ohio producers who ship out of state will have to go through extra steps and get a certificate to confirm that their product is free of that insect.
Moving to some national coverage, a new study shows long-term exposure to air pollution raises the risk for Alzheimer's disease. An Emory University study found that the harmful effects of air pollution had the largest impact on people who had survived a stroke.
The study's authors say improving air quality could be an effective way to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
And
moving to the Antarctic now, scientists say they uncovered a history book of sorts by drilling deep beneath the ice in Antarctica. We're talking about the longest ever sediment core beneath an ice sheet measuring nearly 750 feet.
That's pretty cool there. It's packed with layers of mud and sand and other deposits researchers say could help unlock the continent's climate secrets.
We actually have a chance to basically use the record from underneath the ice, a bit like a time machine. The further we go below the ground, we can look at times in the past when temperatures were 1, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 degrees warmer than they are today.
Scientists hope the discovery will reveal how fast sea levels might rise as the planet keeps warming. And finally today, let's check out some new video. We'll end on a little bit of a positive note here.
Yeah, so this is the NYPD released body cam video of officers rescuing an injured bald eagle floating on an ice sheet in the Hudson River on Tuesday morning.
Yeah, the footage released on NYPD's social media said eagle-eyed cops to the rescue while patrolling the Hudson River. Check out that video there of them getting that eagle back to safety. You like to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a really a good thing, Michael. Of course, you know, as we go through the afternoon, evening hours, we'll keep things updated. We'll certainly talk more about that thunderstorm risk, and then, of course, look ahead to the weekend. I'll do that all evening long here.
Absolutely. We'll be back 4, 5, and 6, and until then, on 10tv.com.